ROR Rule 8. Action to avoid collision. ROR Rule 8. Action to avoid collision. Part A. Any action to avoid collision shall be taken in accordance with the rules of this part, and shall, if the circumstances of the case admit, be positive, made in ample time, and with due regard to the observance of good seamanship. Explanation. Any action taken to avoid collision shall be in accordance with coal regs, shall be positive, made in ample time, with due regard to good seamanship. Part B. Any alteration of course and or speed to avoid collision shall, if the circumstances of the case admit, be large enough to be readily apparent to another vessel observing visually or by radar. A succession of small alterations of course and slash or speed should be avoided. Explanation. The action taken to avoid collision shall be large enough for the other vessel to notice that action has been taken. Avoid small alterations of course and speed, which will not be clearly noticeable to another vessel observing visually or by radar, and this may prompt to an incorrect action due to the confusion. Part C. If there is sufficient sea room, alteration of course alone may be the most effective action to avoid a close quarters situation, provided that it is made in good time, is substantial, and does not result in another close quarters situation. Explanation. When there is sufficient sea room and safe water, alteration of course is often the most effective way to avoid a close quarters situation between vessels. Such course changes must be made early or is made in good time, substantial, not minor adjustments, planned so they don't create another close quarters situation. Part D. Action taken to avoid collision with another vessel shall be, such as to result in passing at a safe distance. The effectiveness of the action shall be carefully checked until the other vessel is finally passed and clear. Explanation. Any action taken to avoid collision must ensure vessels pass at a safe distance. Continuous monitoring must be done until the other vessel is completely passed and clear. Part E. If necessary to avoid collision or allow more time to assess the situation, a vessel shall slacken her speed or take all way off by stopping or reversing her means of propulsion. Explanation. There are only two variables you can alter to avoid collision: course and speed. If necessary to avoid collision or allow more time to assess the situation, a vessel shall slacken her speed or take all way off by stopping or reversing her means of propulsion. Part F1. A vessel which, by any of these rules, is required not to impede the passage or safe passage of another vessel shall, when required by the circumstances of the case, take early action to allow sufficient sea room for the safe passage of the other vessel. Explanation. A vessel which is a give-way vessel should take early and positive action, so that she passes well clear of another vessel. Part F2. A vessel required not to impede the passage or safe passage of another vessel is not relieved of this obligation if approaching the other vessel so as to involve risk of collision, and shall, when taking action, have full regard to the action which may be required by the rules of this part. Explanation. The give-way vessel shall take such action will result in safe passage. This part of the rule requires the give-way vessel to take such action, that the two vessels pass clear of one another. Part F. 3. A vessel the passage of which is not to be impeded remains fully obliged to comply with the rules of this part when the two vessels are approaching one another so as to involve risk of collision. Explanation: even if you are the stand-on vessel, you still must take action to avoid collision. If you are the stand-on vessel, you are still responsible for preventing collision. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe our channel NavFlow, and hit the bell icon for more updates.